I often get great questions and comments both under videos and in donations. I got a pretty good one that I wanted to share with you guys. It was regarding one of my recent videos, Expectations in a Man's Broken Heart, where I was talking about how the big pain for a man is not necessarily the loss, but the betrayal of love. And I gave the example of loved ones dying, or, your beloved pet dying, and you feel immense pain, but you don't feel betrayal. The love doesn't go. And a long-time donator, Greg, shared some thoughts with me that I wanted to share with you all. He said, quote, "A good friend of mine had once told me that the best advice that he had received from one of his sergeants was, quote, nobody gives more of a about you than you." This is true. And from another perspective, I talk about this quite often, where I try and remind us all that we should come first in our lives. My earlier videos, I was talking about, constructive solipsism, not literally being solipsistic, but recognizing yourself as part of the equation. So many guys just don't even see themselves as part of the equation in the duo of a relationship. They see themselves as an actor in a woman's movie. They're just grateful to get the role. They're grateful to be an employee and she's the employer. They feel good about it. Men love service. So basically they're not, a lot of times, aren't even the secondary thing. They just enjoy being the tool, the thing to be used, having a role. He goes on to say, once I switch my tolerances up in my dealings with women to being more like my friends, this is a good point, I found life more blissful. Sure, my relationships with them were more short-lived, but so be it. If a friend of mine were a freeloader, I would cut them off. I took the same path with females. This is an excellent point to remember. I often wondered, and it frustrated me, why with women was it so hard? Like, it was so easy to have relationships with friends, acquaintances, be cordial and friendly to a shop assistant, with your parents, anybody else you cared about, especially the intimate relationships that you cared about with your friends and family. Why all of a sudden there was this Machiavellian up means down world with a woman that ostensibly needs to be and should be the most important female in your life, simply for the fact that you live with her day to day, she bears your children, you live under the same roof, you need to trust her with your money, your livelihood, she has to have your back, you have to have hers, and so forth. It really kind of struck me as completely ridiculous that the closest and most intimate relationship you would actually choose, I never understood the game playing. Whereas with Greg, what he said is completely true. And I tend to remind myself of this all the time. And it's a great way to reveal how unfair the other person's being in the relationship, how much more you're giving than they are. It really reveals the unfairness when you see it as a basic human interaction and fairness and reciprocity, like family members, like friends, or any other fair relationship that you value. You start to see, like, why the hell am I feeling anxious? Just on the face of it, it's ridiculous that you can't judge your female romantic partner by the same metrics, even though you're romantically attracted to her. I know there's biology involved, but just structurally, judge her the same way you would judge any other important relationship in your life that was intimate, like your family and your best friends. There is absolutely no reason why you can't calibrate your value judgments to the romantic partner you choose, the single person you choose, and for a lot of guys, the person they're choosing to be the one and only mother of their child. Why you shouldn't, at the very least, judge them with the same metrics as you judge the most important other people in your life. We give our romantic partners, I'm talking from a man's point of view, we judge them with nothing. They are going to give birth to our children. They're going to be mothers. They're going to be wives. We're going to have to trust them. You're ostensibly building a life together, and most guys choose a woman as though they're going into a car yard and saying, yeah, that color's nice. I don't need to test drive it. I don't need to look under the hood. I'll take it. I don't need to know anything about it. How much does it cost? I don't even care. You don't have to tell me how much it costs. Whatever you want, it's a blank check. I'll sign it. Just give it to me. Those are the standards by which most men appreciate a woman allowing them to be with her. It's completely ridiculous. I mean, when you look at it that way, ask most men, why do you love her? By what standards do you appreciate her? What does she do for you? How is she a valuable person in your life? What are her character traits? Name me 2 Aristotelian traits in the woman you supposedly love that you value. Most guys couldn't name one. Other than, women, that's just the way they are. No, in most cases, that's the way an arsehole is. Greg goes on to say he was once visiting a fitness club, and in his words, it was littered with various quotes. One from the gym's owner had stuck out and imprinted on me, quote, "If you run with a lame, you will develop a limp." I couldn't agree more. Lie with dogs, you get fleas. It's no different from friends to family to jobs to women. If you pick bad company, especially the central company you keep is toxic and bad and draining and not cooperative, you'll get the results of that. It's no surprise. He goes on, hope you can buy some toilet paper with this little gift, his donation, and if it hasn't been ransacked the way it has in the States, maybe a nice bottle of bourbon. Thanks for the donation, Greg. I don't drink alcohol, but I put it towards some essentials, so thank you very much. I'll be answering more supporter questions as a regular thing here because I think it's interesting because a lot of you guys, you put some brilliant comments and discussions under the videos that I myself wouldn't have thought about, and it's precisely why I value your comments because it's different experiences and points of view on the same subject that we can expand on and discuss with that can touch on things I didn't think of, and they're a brilliant way of expanding the discussion on a particular topic. So keep the civil and intelligent discussion going, guys. Speaking of discussion, there'll be another live group discussion scheduled on my Discord this week on Wednesday night, 22nd of April, 11 p.m. AED time, Australian time, my time. So please check your time zone as it may be earlier or later than my time. People are all over the world. Okay, I'll see you then for a discussion later. Feel free to support me. Links below this content and in my About section. I really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the bell icon and select all to be notified of my next video. Thanks.